the moments before. Oh no, it's the moment as we
It,
go live.
yeah. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to connect with you. Today we are having a really cute topic, a really interesting topic. What are we going to talk about, Marquita?
Confidence in speaking and leadership, being able to stand proud and tall and be a great voice for animals and for our planet.
That's right. That's right. It's funny, just before we hopped live, I picked up two street kittens. They're outside right now, taking care of them. And when I think back to like moments where I didn't feel the confidence and I haven't grown my abilities in rooting myself, I would be so overwhelmed by stuff like that. But now I'm feeling good and I'm excited to talk about confidence, how we can grow confidence as speakers or not yet speakers. So speaking of the kittens, I think they're destroying they're destroying something. Anyway, they can do their thing. Let's introduce each other, or well, let's introduce ourselves. Share with us who you are. I think most people in your group know who you are. Most people in my group that are tuning in know who I am. So it's a beautiful thing that we can connect one another. Marquita, who are you?
Who am I? I'm a vegan empowerment coach. I am, well, I'm many things. I'm a dog mom to a little rescue, my little rescue Chihuahua, Louie. I am a vegan activist. I'm a member of Georgia Animal Rights and Protection. Yeah, I believe strongly that we've got to get up and out into action. So that's my mission as a vegan empowerment coach, is to gently get people up into action, and under with compassion and understanding, because I used to be there myself, hating myself, feeling ashamed and feeling guilty. And so that's why I do all the work that I do with my clients, one-on-one coaching, and group coaching, is with gentleness and kindness, because I believe that's the way to really and change this world. So that's a little bit of a long story of who I am. I'm also, and we'll talk about this in a minute, I'm working with We Did It Health, who's the same, in alignment with my values also. So that's me for now.
Well, that also connects us because we're both very connected to We Did It Health. They have a certification program. It's called the Grassroots Ambassadors certification, and we both did that, and that like bonded us a bit more. And we've done some collaborations in the past. So thank you for deciding to do this with me. At the end of this live stream, we'll also invite you into a free training that we are going to host on February 18th around the same topic as this live stream is about. So stick around until the end if you want to learn even more around confidence as a vegan speaker and a vegan advocate. Yes. It's so cool. It's so cool because like we're doing very similar work. And as I was growing up and, like learning about business, I always learned that there's competition. There's competition. And I feel like in our vegan community, when it comes to the people like us that work on emotional well-being, development, spiritually, mental health wise, or however, or whatever terms we both use, we connect more and we collaborate more. So I'm same like you. I'm also a coach. I'm a certified life coach, and I function as an catalyst and an amplifier for the vegan community. So what I do is I offer group coaching and one-on-one coaching, as well as online courses all around emotional well-being, mental health, and developing more confidence, charisma, and clarity from the heart, from the mind, so that we can veganize the world faster by really stepping into our power, and not only veganizing the world faster, but just optimizing, becoming more loving, becoming more healthy, more caring towards ourselves and one another. That's kind of my mission as a life coach and as a public speaker as well. So both of us are stepping on stage, both online and also in person. We're both very used to the art of public speaking, and that's why we decided to create some live streams. This is the first one of a little series that we are doing. So keep your eyes open, honey. There's more to come. And we want to share with you a little bit more around how we gotten into public speaking and what it takes to grow the confidence so that we can speak to other people, may it be in a group, may it be online, a live stream, may it be making videos, or even on stage in front of a live audience. Because the tricks and the tools and the ways that we learned to do this are applicable, that's the right word, are applicable everywhere. So we want to share a little bit more about that, because we both believe that when more vegans can step into their power as amplified voices and outspoken voices, we can veganize the world faster and save even more animals as they need and deserve it. So, like, let's dive a little bit into, by the way, if anybody's watching from both of our groups or the We Did It Health group, let us know in the comments. Say hi. We're always looking or looking out for you, and it's always fun to see who is with us. This looks like a video recording, but because we're so professional, duh. We're live here. We're live here. So it can be a dialogue. You know, if you have any questions around public speech, around growing confidence as a vegan or just as a human, shoot them in the comments. Mariquita, how did how did you start getting into public speaking? Like, let's look back at the first times you would put yourself in the position as a speaker. How
I'll tell you the first time I had to do public speaking. I'll tell you about that experience. I was in hi, Tiffany. Tiffany is very sweet. She's doing a lot. She's got some beautiful animals. Thanks for watching. Everybody, let us know where you're joining from. We'd love to see you all. So I remember in high school, I went to an all-girls high school, and we had to do a speaking. Every one of us had to do a chapel talk, is what it was called, and get up and speak in front of the whole school, which was a wonderful experience. I was very shy, right? And it's funny that I took a book that is so meaningful in my life right now. At the time, I didn't realize how meaningful it was, but it was about it was called Hope for the Flowers. Two little caterpillars that wanted to be more. They always wanted to be more. And all the caterpillars were like, they saw like something's over there, and they stepped on each other, just like we do as a lot of times as humans, really not caring about other people just to get to the mad race to the top. And, so in the end, they realize that's not what's important, and they become butterflies. So it's a beautiful story. Anyway, so when I was in high school, my mom, I don't know what she had, but she gave me some pill, and I guess it was some sedative or something, and I took it. And I just walked up there and presented it, which was crazy at the time, I think. I don't know what it was. I didn't feel like it. But that didn't help me in the long run, because later, again, I had to present, and I sure didn't want it. I don't recommend that at all. Now, all that did was put it off for the next time. So, after that, I was always a nervous wreck whenever I had to get up in front of people. And I did everything I could not to get up in front of people, And it wasn't until I worked on myself to build my own belief in myself. It was what really led me. The first step was self-compassion. Because instead of judging myself harshly, all that I had done my whole life is judge, and hate every part of myself. Once I began with self-compassion, I was able to step into, take away all the blocks that lead to confidence, right? If you're just piled up with junk, hating yourself, how can you ever get to confidence, right? You're swarming through the seas of hatred, and confidence is way off. But if you clear out all that hatred for yourself, there it begins the path to confidence.
I can relate to that, actually. Yeah, the self-saboteur within, which is like a facet of the self-hatred, right? And how that always was pushing through the actions that I was or was not taking or not felt capable of taking. So I can strongly relate to that experience of growing confidence actually being more of recreating the dialogue with the hatred, the emotion of hate, the emotion of hate. That's the word, period. There's no other word for it. And
Right.
I can relate to that. So, like, for you, the first experience when you ever stepped on stage was back then you said it was an all girls high school and you felt extremely anxious. And how did, for you, like when you started fasting forward now, right? Speed forward movie. And when you started getting into your coaching and feeling this calling of I'm here to actually guide people on a path. I'm here to do that. And with that, in my experience, like for me, I became a coach and public speaking wasn't my main focus, but it just became like it became a part of what I grew into. As I was coaching, I was also making videos. I was talking about the emotional issues we vegans have. I was talking about the mental blocks and about the belief systems that hold us back on a physical and on a emotional level of creating more impact from a heart-centered place. And for me, it wasn't at all a decision to be like, okay, I'm going to be a public speaker now, because I struggled from social anxiety so much that I would get tomato red in my face. I would run to the bathroom, use that as an excuse 2 times an hour. I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. And it would just start sweating and I needed to calm myself down. I didn't have breathing exercises back then. So I really struggled coping with being around people. And that also shifted when I did more of the, as we call it, inner work on the emotion of hatred, the emotion of fear. And then these knots started unknotting a bit, and I grew a sense of confidence from that point as well, and became capable of just speaking in front of people, speaking in front of bigger groups, or making live streams like this one. So for you, how did public speaking become something that you're now a hero at and became your superpower? How did that happen?
Oh, that's a very good question, and I can really relate to that. I mean, my face would turn bright red. I mean, sometimes it still does, and it's so embarrassing because people would be like, "Oh, your face is turning red," and then it even turns more red, and you're like, "Stop turning red." But yeah, sometimes in
Like,
the live
no,
streams, I will. I know, put a whole bunch of powder on before you start, and that way, if your face turns red, nobody will notice it. Anyway.
I couldn't do that. I can today because I'm queer and owning it. But back then I was like, man, don't wear makeup. I couldn't.
Anyway, well, when did I start? I mean, when I shifted to coaching, I got this beautiful marketer, Stephanie Treasure. Let me just tell you, if you want a marketer, get Stephanie. She's whole food, plant-based, vegan, very, very loving. And I wasn't looking for that, but that's what the universe sent me. And so she was like, okay, you're going to get online. You're going to do these live streams. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. So this
Like
was
red.
I know, huh? Yeah, no way I'm not, and she was a great cheerleader. So, just doing it. And it wasn't of course, this is doing it without being perfect. Just get on there, get speakers, start getting speakers. Because this is when I was doing relationship coaching, joyful relationship coaching. And so I thought nobody's going to want to come on my live stream, but that was wrong, of course. And they did. And then she told me for a long time, you've got to get on live streams. You got to, get on these interviews where you are the guest. And I thought, who in the world is going to want to interview me? Right. But just through every single day, getting out there and with her support, right, she was holding me accountable. This started to happen. And all of a sudden, I mean, it was building my confidence. Yeah, sure. The first time, who knows what I sounded like, but I did it. That's all that mattered. And I would get on these little videos and just shoot little videos of me getting on live. And the more I did it, the more I became used to it. And I have friends that say, "Look how great you are," and they are where I was, right? And they wonder, how can I get there? And I just get on and start doing it, right? Get a support group, get someone to hold you accountable for doing it, get some cheerleaders. We all can be cheerleaders for each other. So, and look at me now. I can go live like that, even without a script. If someone said, okay, I need you to go talk about compassion, in 30 minutes or in 5 minutes, I could get up and talk about compassion without thinking, oh my gosh, you know. So that's a huge, huge change. And look at Tiffany, she's saying, the blushing can be so hard to get past. I used to wear makeup to hide it too. That's so
I
funny.
think so many can relate to this. I've received messages by a lot of vegans and non-vegans. It doesn't matter, but a lot of people struggle with that exact kind of anxiety and fear of being seen, fear of being perceived, right?
Right. You're right. And I think as children, when we're little children and let's just say we have our artwork and we show it so proudly and then someone makes fun of it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to show. I don't want to speak. I want to hide. Right. And so that happens a lot as children because when we're young, we don't have that belief. We're proud of ourselves. Right. We want to talk. And so things change, experiences change us, but we have the power to change back. I mean, change to be greater, right? Not to be the old one, but to be the new one and to really step into greatness. And so it's exciting to have met you, right? Because our energy is just it works so well together and that we're in different time zones, right? So if someone wants to talk to me and maybe my time zone isn't right, then please talk to June because you're going to get so much from his help. As we both want to help people grow in confidence for the animals and for themselves, right? This isn't just speaking for the animals. This is being able to speak up for yourself. This is being unflappable. If someone comes up to you and makes fun of you for being vegan, you're not going to have to feel sad or be embarrassed or be mad or angry at them. You're going to be okay. You're going to say, this person is not understanding, and that's all right. I have compassion for them, right? I don't hate you because I'm confident in myself, right? And this is the baseline. We're creating a foundation of confidence that flows in all areas as speakers, as everyday human beings in this human experience of life, knowing that life is not going to be perfect. People are not going to like us all the time. People are not going to agree with us. People are going to make fun of us. And where does that leave us? Does that leave us on the floor in a crumpled mess? No, it doesn't. It can leave us in a confident, happy, peaceful place where we move on, where we're resilient. Okay, so that's my little spiel. I could just go on forever. So I'm going to let you take over now.
But like you're touching on some points that I think are so essential to be spoken out again and again and again, again and again and again and again. Is that building confidence it's not something we do overnight. It's really not something we just, dig out and it's there. It's a process. It's a reconnection process. And you said it so nicely. Like when you start reconnecting to this inner knowing that you're okay and you're at peace, and whatever emotions come up, you have yourself. You got yourself. You're your backbone, and that's a belief that needs to be practiced, right? Like for both of us, we really needed to practice that. We needed to integrate. And everybody that I've guided, and I bet that you've guided so far as well as a coach and as a mentor, is seeing that this process it's going deep, right? And so growing confidence as a vegan speaker and as a human, as a personality, as it's not an overnight thing. You can't, download an ebook, read it, and then you're the most confident person you ever known. I have, that's not my experience. It's not yours. In my experience, the same. When I started doing live streams, oh, honey, I was not. I was like, oh, this is scary. I'm not sure if anybody's gonna listen. A lot of people listened. Oh, was I anxious? Yes, I was anxious. I always used to have like my notebook open next to the screen and have like key points to help myself. And sometimes I would even hold the notebook in my hand. Like for almost a whole year, I had the notebook in my hand, and I was like, okay, what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, and people didn't mind. People didn't mind. They're there to receive, so it doesn't matter if you need to like take a look at your notebook or not. And with the consistent practice of getting used to what's outside the comfort zone, it becomes the comfort zone. And as you said, you can get up and you can just, hop on live, be ready, feel present. If not, take one breath. Nobody will notice. If you take the right way of breathing, if you choose that, nobody will notice that you're taking an extra breath, and then be ready to gift the people with what you have to say. Because each and every one of us, especially as vegans, we have something very important to say. And just imagine this: as you're a vegan and we're both in the vegan community, right? So we're having a lot of conversations around vegan things, and veganism is normal for us. But just imagine for somebody who's never, ever went to a thought in their mind, which goes somewhat like, it might be an ethical choice to go vegan, or it might be aligned with my values of compassion that I actually embody in other areas of my life. If somebody has never had that train of thought, you're like such a powerful translator for them. And I often think we underestimate how powerful our voices actually are. And we also distort them by not being able to work with our emotions properly. So emotions come in and then they throw different thoughts in our mind, and the thoughts translates into the words we use. And maybe there's anger, maybe there's frustration, maybe there's sadness that speaks through it. But when you become capable of really managing your emotions, and applying either a tool or just practicing so deep spiritual growth or whatever it is, to be okay with the moment and your emotions, that they don't need to change the narrative of you walking your hero path and inspiring the people around you to go vegan. So the emotions don't have to come into play that hard anymore. They can be applied to, to like underline very specific areas that you want to talk about. And that's something that we will be talking about in a free upcoming training that I mentioned before. I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. But one more thing that I want to know before that is, now as we are here, we're live for another around 10 minutes, let's say. I would love for you, Marquita, to share with all of us and with me that are listening and watching to this. Would love for you to tell us, when it comes to getting started as a speaker. And getting started as a speaker, for most of us, it doesn't mean starting from scratch, because we've been doing outreach, we've been, having conversations with friends and family, we've been learning how to speak our whole life. But when it comes to taking that to the next level, to become capable of confidently speaking from a calm and centered place, what word advice would you have for someone who feels like, I'm ready to go out there, I'm ready to maybe make videos, I'm ready to apply for speaking on stage about vegan health? What word of advice for them would you have?
Well, I would say just start off by knowing that we are in a human experience, that you are perfectly imperfect, and this is a journey, and how amazing you are. I want you to celebrate the fact that you're being courageous to take the first step on this journey, right? This is a big step, the first, second step, whatever it is. And to know that so many people don't want to take this step. So really celebrate yourself. And whatever happens, I'm not going to I'm not going to let this outcome, whatever happens, like if people like me, I'm not putting a value of the experience on if people like me or not, or if I think it's a success. That this experience is going to be positive because I'm getting up there with courage. I'm doing my best, and my best might not be as good as June's best. I'm not comparing to anyone. I'm celebrating me. No matter what, after this experience, I am going to give myself the love and the congratulations for doing it, right? And letting go of outcomes. I don't care if anybody listened, right? I'm going to get on the live stream, 0 viewers. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So it's that doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me if somebody says you sucked. I'm still going to be happy with who I am and that I did it. Who cares about what happens at the end? I'm going in there. I did it, and I'm confident, and I love myself.
Amen. Preach, girl, preach. Wow, that's a good word of advice. Care less about how others perceive or how interested others are, care more about what you actually have to say, and that you are doing that you are showing up. And I mean, I've just been listening to that comes to my mind as you just said that. I've just been listening to some interviews of Lady Gaga, and I know there's controversy. She was wearing that meat dress, whatever. Let's just bury that for a minute. Um, she's very often talking about how much self-belief one has to generate to make it to such a position as she is at. And in one interview, she says something that goes like, look, if you are not practicing self-belief, if you are not going there to, show up regardless of what people say, because haters are gonna hate unless they don't, unless they stop, unless they start healing the hatred where that comes from. You got to generate that belief in yourself. And so I think I subscribe to that also as the message for anybody who wants to step into that more. You got to believe in yourself. And one other thing, like a very practical thing that I often see, especially in the online world, is people fear um, speaking their truth for two reasons. Reason number one is I'm not good enough, not enough self work. I have nothing to say. So it's the inner saboteur again. And that's where the inner work comes in. So reach out to Mariquita if you're somewhere in the States and you want to work with her, or regardless where you are, you can reach out to her, or you can also reach out to me. I live in Bali, Indonesia. That's why I said before we have different time zones. I have evening right now, you have early morning. And we can help you with that. That's the first block that needs to be opened for you to amplify your voice. And the second block, which I also very often observe, is people are very often so perfectionistic around the tech. Like, let's say, because speaking online is most of the time more accessible or easier accessible for people than speaking offline on stage. Right? Let's say you spoke at an event or at a gathering or at a festival or whatever it was. Speaking online is much more accessible, and there's a lot of great spaces to speak: podcasts, live interviews, summits, your own Facebook profile, YouTube profile, just care less about the tech would be my word of advice. Like when I started out, I had the first group coaching program I sold. This is interesting. The first group coaching program I sold in start 2020. I had a 10-year-old MacBook with like a 480 pixel camera. I had earphones that were so bad, I had to repeat myself sometimes. Did the people that signed up pay $3,000 to receive what I had to share? Yes, they did. So regardless of where you're at with your tech, right? And I mean, in the meanwhile, smartphones are sometimes beyond the MacBook cameras that are a couple of years old. Like smartphones are so good. So if you fear that your tech is not good enough and you're not looking crisp enough and the audio is not good enough, that's not going to serve the world. That's not going to save animals. That's not going to inspire people to hear you and to hear your story, how you went vegan, That's not going to do it. That inner saboteur and that perfectionist. So whatever tech you have available, believe me, is beyond good enough to go online and to speak. I've had live calls with really big names, and they hopped on the calls for podcasts and their audio sucked. Their audio sucked, and they didn't care, and neither did I. I was like, the conversation was so good. That's what it's all about. So that would be the second tip. If you fear that, like the technical things, it's all not set up nicely, can you find it in you to care less about that and care more about the message that you want to share? That would be my word of advice.
Yes, and those are very good words. And what we're really talking about here a lot is, and I would love to hear comments, people. Everyone that's watching, please let us know what you're afraid of. What are the fears, so we can address these. So letting go of ego. If we say it's not about me, it's not about whether they like me, if it's not about this ego centered, but it's about what my purpose is here in the universe. My purpose in the universe is this. And if we just go from that, where it's not going to hurt my feelings at all, I'm living my purpose, and that's a foundation. That's what we have to create, is this strong foundation, and that's what June and I work with people for. And that's also what We Did It works. I want to say really quickly this, that We Did It health. Go to their YouTube channel. I just did a workshop on relationships. This whole month is about healing relationships. There's many videos on that. Many of us have lost touch with our families, and so we can't be a great speaker with our families because we've broken those ties. So there's a lot of great information there. And I mean, we have chances every day to practice this, speaking up for ourselves. Every single interaction we have with people is a chance to step into confidence and to exhibit, just exhibit these qualities of strength, right? Where we're not afraid we can step away slowly from this fear of speaking and being approved and being enough, like this belief of I'm not enough every time we speak to people. And if we're scared to speak on stage, start saying hello to people in the supermarket, right? Start saying hello to strangers and making their day. That's a good way to build confidence.
Amen. Again, amen. That's the second amen, honey, for you. Wow. Yeah, you say like start where it doesn't seem like it will serve the purpose of helping you, but it does. I remember, and that just crossed my mind as you said, start speaking to people in the supermarket. I remember I had a really, really great friend a while back when I was still living in Switzerland, which is where I grew up. And we would bond over the strong desire to like grow beyond what we believed was possible. We would see these people online like you and I are today. We would like see these people speak and be confident and all of that. We started following them. And then there was one day where we decided, okay, let's take action and like kind of like push each other, become motivation buddies. You said it in the beginning, you're a marketing genius, right? Marketer. She was kind of like that for you too. And I remember that back then with him, we had such a great amplifier relationship for one another where we would really like help each other be motivated to grow. And we made a 1 month challenge to compliment a woman every single day, regardless of the outcome, if we, would get the number or go on a date, whatever. Back then I thought I was into women. Whatever, other story. Yeah, that's a story for another time. But anyway, back then that felt more like my truth, and I was figuring myself out, whatever. And so back then that felt right. And the first week was terrifying. It was so scary. It was so scary. And then after a while, we realized how beautiful it is to like, regardless of the outcome for ourselves around, do we get something from it? Do we gain something from it? Do we connect with that person? Can we go on a date? Finally with a girlfriend. Oh my God. Is that happening? It didn't happen. We didn't find any girlfriends in those in those conversations we had. But what we found was this deep sense of confidence around it's okay to speak. And what I realized back then is more people have this exact same fear around talking out loud, speaking out loud than we think. And people can relate. And if you know that people can relate to the feeling of fear, to the feeling of anxiety, to that experience, when you know that, you also know that they will judge you less for stuttering if you say something, for having to repeat a couple of words. The first live streams, I bet we both did, were just kind of like we were stuttering here and there. We had to repeat ourselves. It would like stumble over our own word, right? And saying hi, you look great outfit. I love your makeup. When you say stuff like that to people, and you also mean it, hopefully, don't just lie because you want to say something, but like say what you mean, practice the truth in voicing things. That is a great way to start practicing. I see Tiffany mentioned in the comments, my biggest fear would be that I don't sound sophisticated enough. This is my first time joining a live chat, and I'm reading my comments to make sure I sound smart enough. Yeah, that's what we talked about before, right? That is the voice of your saboteur, of the one that says you're not good enough. And we're always going to have that voice in our mind. It's not a question of, shutting that voice down. It's a question of having a new relationship with that voice and working towards creating a dialogue with that voice that says something like, hey, I hear you. Yeah, I know you're becoming an old voice, and I'm still going to do it. And it's funny because you say that, and we probably haven't had a glimpse of thought about rereading your comments that you wrote it right. I didn't. Marquita probably didn't. So even if you would have written it wrong, it wouldn't have mattered because we would have received what you had to say. And that's what it's all about. It's about speaking what you want other people to receive, and most ideally what they want to receive as well. So if you can speak into their hearts and into the minds and into their thought patterns, then you can speak into their behaviors as well. And we're going to talk about in the free training more around these topics, around speaking into people's hearts and learning how to do that, and also overcoming that fear. But look, I can relate to that fear, and Marquita does too. It's something we all still feel, and we will always have that voice of fear in our mind. And then again, it's a question of recreating that relationship. So thank you for sharing that. I bet a lot of other people that are watching this or listening definitely can relate to that.
Right. And I also think when I see Tiffany's comment, I think, wow, that's bravery right there. Someone actually showing up and being vulnerable. That's brave to speak this, because a lot of people don't want to say it. So, I mean, whatever the comment is, it's already starts with bravery and courage. So that's amazing.
Indeed, I agree to that. I remember sometimes I felt scared commenting back. Like when I started, my online presence and showing up online, I was scared sometimes to comment back, and I would fear what people would say. You're welcome, love. Tiffany said thank you. And I would fear that too. And like these fears are valid and they are present. But again, they don't serve the bigger picture of what we actually wish for this world and to happen in this world. So yeah, I can relate to that. Listen, you mentioned we did it .health before. They have a certification program that also helped both of us to like generate more clarity around who we are and how we present ourselves and how we can educate on veganism. And it's a really potent, it felt potent and short to me. It was like really crisp and clear. Do you want to share with us a little bit more about that training? And I can share, or you can share a link to the grassroots ambassador certification training in the comments.
Right. It's it's right now it's a very affordable price, $47 to become a certified grassroots vegan or plant-based ambassador. And it comes with, so this comes from really great wisdom from Dr. Sally Lipsky, and who talks about, well, this is based on how to speak with confidence, how to speak so people will hear you, effective speaking skills. Dr. Angela Crawford talks about the stages of change. So how we don't have to feel angry. We don't have to take things personally when people aren't ready to hear the message. We don't have to go home feeling sad. No, someone's not ready. So this is very outlined in this training. And then you're in this community of support. There's some perks, some really nice perks to being in this community. We have meetings every month where, not every, a couple of times, 4 times a month, where we come together and we talk about our issues and we get support in a Zoom room. So that's been very helpful. The same people are showing up and we're supporting. They come bring a question in, and how can we support and get all the minds in on this. So we did it as, like I said, look on their YouTube channel. They're always putting out great information. This Saturday at 12 Eastern Standard Time, Victoria Moran's going to share her wisdom. So every Saturday at 12 Eastern Standard Time, we've got wonderful speakers. Bobby Sudd is coming. He is an amazing activist. I mean, he makes my heart just swell. His love for animals. He does the vigils, and 2 minutes with an animal showing compassion is all, that 2 minutes is so important in an animal's life. He doesn't do it to change anything, even though it would be great if it changed. He does it just to show the animal love. So he's another amazing speaker, Linda Middlesworth. So we've got all sorts of amazing speakers coming up at We Did It Health. It's a great community. So check out the certification. Like I said, if you have any questions, please contact me because I'm working with them. It's so important to me that we are effective communicators with love, and we're not turning people off by calling them names. Not calling people names. How in the world is that going to change people's mind about veganism and whole food, plant-based living? If somebody calls me a name, I'm going to say, I don't want to be like you. I mean, who are you? I don't want to be someone that's full of hate. I want to be someone full of love. So it's crucial that we are effective. And this is science we're talking about. We Did It Health is also based on science, and that's what we're talking about also. And this isn't just some fluffy, sure, love-based hippie child stuff, right? I want to be a hippie, okay? And always that was my dream. But anyway, it's not some just junk. We see the reality of it, right? We are not saying that you shouldn't feel sad or you shouldn't feel angry. No, we're saying that these emotions, we take these emotions, we send love to that anger, we send love to that sadness, and then we take action from it, right? That's the foundation for action. So if that seems foreign, I mean, it seemed foreign to me a long time ago, please reach out to June and I for a chat and we can talk more about this. But yeah, check out We Did It, and I'll let June speak now.
You're such a sweetheart. Look at you flowing. Can you share the link? Can we share that like here in the comments?
Let me grab it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me find
grab that link.
And if I can't find it, I'll find it. But yeah.
If anybody is interested, leave in the comments Grassroots Ambassador Certification, and we'll send you the link. You should all in the account. Yeah. No, it was a real pleasure to connect with We Did It Health. I'm quite new to the whole movement and to the community. So for me, there's a lot to explore too, but I'm excited to see who else is going to join and who else is going to take this certification training. It was really potent. Yeah, so growing more confidence as a vegan speaker was the topic for today. If you, my loves, have any questions more, you can just put them in the comments. Even if you're watching the recording, put them in the comments. We'll make sure to respond. If you have a specific question for Mariquita, just point it out in the comments or send her a direct message on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you are watching this from, honey. And for me, the same, comment at June and then write it in the comments or send me a DM. Now, at the beginning of this training, I said we also have an announcement to make. This is the first time we are publicly making it in a live stream. You may have seen this announcement being posted in Facebook groups or in our personal profiles. There is a free training coming up. It's called the Free Vegan Educator and Speaker Training. Both Mariquita and I will be hosting that. It's completely free. It's 1.5 hours free training where we'll be teaching you the foundations of speech. We'll give you some really handy tips and tricks on how you can stay on track. You can calm your mind. You can focus during a speech and still stay yourself with all your uniqueness and your beauty. There we go. By the way, the link to We Did It Health has been shared in the comments just now, so you can go and check that out if you want. Back to the training that we're hosting. It's happening on February 18th. I will share a link with you in the comments of this live stream, or maybe you're already on it, Mariquita. Do you have the website link of that training?
Let me see here. Hold on one second.
If not,
let me get it.
Sure thing.
No, I'll get it. Go ahead and speak. And I'll get it right now.
Love that. I can also send it to you on Facebook, but you find it. Um, Now that training will set you up, as I said, with the foundations, and we're hosting it live. If you can't join us live for whatever reasons, maybe time zone, maybe you have a family that is, distracting you at that moment in time, whatever it is, the recording will also be made available to everyone that has signed up. So if you want to amplify your voice, if you want to learn the foundational skills of being a speaker and a vegan educator, then that's going to be the free training we're providing you with. So would love to see some of you there. Yes. You managing? Did you find
I
it?
think I'm
The link?
managing here. Let me see here. Well,
All
it's a
right. If
long link.
not,
Let me
it
see.
is
Here's the, that's
rather
not, I
long.
didn't
Yeah.
put it in the right place. Let's see here. Hold on. I got it here. But also I'll go back and put it in the comments afterwards to make sure that it's there. So there it is.
Jesus Christ, that's a long link. Like
I know that.
after that is not completely correct, but I mean, if people
All
can
right.
click on it, yeah, after the speaker training, there shouldn't be more stuff. Let me send you the link via
I'm going to get
Facebook
that
if
off.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Just everything after. But maybe it's clickable. Maybe it works. Anyway, so it will be
Okay.
lovely to see some of you in this training. Marquita and I, we are going to hop live a couple more times to give you more insights and a little bit more of a teaser and tips on vegan speaking, growing charisma, confidence. There will be 2 more live streams before the training, so keep your eye open if you want to like pick these little golden nuggets here and there. And that was everything I wanted to share with all of you today. Thank you for joining in. Is there anything else you want to talk about, share, or send love to?
Well, I just would like to thank you all for being you, right? And thank you for everything you're doing for the animals. And just believe, just know this, that you are enough right now. You know, everything you're doing, you are enough. And let's build from that, right? Let's let go right now of I'm not enough and love I'm not enough. Thank you, I'm not enough, for being here. I love you. But we're going to step into the greater story, which is you are enough. You can do this, right? And we are here for you. We're here believing in you. June and I are standing with you on your journey, right? We're standing strong together. You're not alone. You are beautiful, and we support you.
Listen, one more question before we tune off. If anybody is watching that has grown interest in not only the vegan speech and the vegan educator training that is coming up and learning about that, if anybody is interested in more deeper inner healing, spiritual growth, personal development, and wants to work with you, what's happening on your end? How can people work with you? What's going on?
Well, I do one-on-one coaching, so you can sign up for a DM me, sign up for a chat. I do have another group coaching coming up where we're going to specifically work on one goal as an activist, right? What's your activist goal? And then we're going to be working 3 months. You're going to be supported to get to that activist goal, right? Maybe it's going to be lead march, or maybe it's going to be tabling, right? Whatever it is, that's what we're going to be working on. That's the end of February. So those are 2 things coming up. And yeah, I'm excited about it. So please reach out to me. And even if you don't want to sign up, I want to talk to you because I love connecting. Relationships are everything. Look at the great relationship June and I have now. I remember when I was so excited, someone said, there's this guy named June. And I thought, oh, I don't know if he'll want to meet me. Oh my gosh. And look where we are today.
Yeah, look at how that saboteur was like trying to pull you back from stepping into creating this with each other. Yeah.
And
So
right, and that's
amazing.
good point. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
That's always happening, even to us today. We have to be aware, right? It's never going to go away. How do you handle it?
And I mean, like you said, like relationship and connection is everything. And I notice often in our vegan community when somebody runs a vegan business or a vegan related business, like both of us do, depending on what kind of business that is, people tend to become hateful and get triggered. And I mean, I had this comment section happening recently where somebody called me a scam and a fraud. And I was like, well, honey, look closer, look closer. But also, Like, we're here to really connect with one another. And sometimes I feel like people have this precondition of we want to sell you stuff. Um, we don't and we do, because we, us, or let's say us selling you stuff means us selling you transformation on your end, not on ours. Well, also part on ours, obviously, but like we're catalysts, we're coaches, we're guides. We're here to help you step into your next layer and into your next level self, right? So if Mariquita speaks to you, if you want to learn more about her offerings, praise her for offering that, and go ahead, reach out to her. You do that for yourself. One-on-one coaching and a group coaching offer is coming up on your end. Love that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Thank you.
On my end, it looks very similar, actually. I have very limited one-on-one coaching spots. I'm currently having only one open one. I focus more on group coaching because for me, it's very powerful to have a group momentum and have a group of people, vegans and vegan activists in those group coaching programs of mine that amplify each other as well, because everybody brings this uniqueness, this spice to the table, and then you get a whole beautiful dish that just, smells so good, everybody wants it. And the dish is called veganism. So I have also end of February, begin March, actually. End of February is the deadline for signups. Begin March, I have a program coming up, which is called the Beyond You program. And it's a 12-week program as well, same as your group coaching program. Limited spots available. And we're going to really dial into personal development, spiritual exploration, discovering how your greatest self functions. And that will help you release mental health issues. It will help you release addictions. It will help you, become really freaking empowered in being the change maker that you already know you are here within. So we're bringing that change maker outwards by decluttering all the mess on emotional and mental levels. Yeah. So that's what's coming up on my end. Please also feel free to reach out and connect if you're interested in that. And if not, reach out and connect as well with either of us. We love you. Yeah.
Amen to that.
All right. I think everything that needed to be said was said. I want to thank everybody for joining. Say we love each other in the comments if you're still here with us, or you're watching the replay, put #replay. We love each other. We support each other. And I'm excited to see you soon again. Mariquita is excited to see you soon. Oh my God, that was like, if we would be twins, that would work. You could like finish the sentence out of my mouth, but we're not twins. We dressed up the same color today. We didn't plan that, by the way. It's just, we'll do that in the next live stream too. We're almost twins, visual twins.
Right.
Anyhow, bless you all for watching this. Thank you. Looking forward to connect with you further. Mwah.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. And we're sending love. Namaste, vegan.
Namaste, vegan.
Bye.